What is up? What is going on? Dave at SVA Card Collectors. Just a quick note, you know what to do. Head over to svacardcollectors.com, sign up. In the month of July, you may win a chance at 2, yes I said 2, Topps Update Chrome Mega Boxes, where you may get probably nothing, but hopefully you get an Acuna or Ohtani. Now, this is my first interview that I've done, and it's with Chris at CRT Sportscards. If you are wanting to buy cases and you want to learn how to buy them, how to sell the cards, which sets to get, you got to listen to this interview. It is really good, and I learned a ton of stuff. So, without further ado, here is the interview. How you doing, Chris?
I'm well, David. How are you?
Great. This is Chris from CRT Sportscards. I've been following him on Twitter. I saw his website, which really piqued my interest. You basically broke down all the odds on opening up cases, and it blew my mind. It was exactly what I was looking for. So I'm glad you decided to do my podcast. And just to start off, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for the opportunity. I know you reached out right after I moved about 6 weeks ago, so I know we've been planning this for a while. So thanks for the opportunity to jump on and talk a little about this. No so problem. I am sort of your typical, late 30s collector. As a kid, we grew up in the 80s and 90s with cards, and my first set was 91 Topps, and then I got in and got out of the hobby back in. I think the last time I really got back in was 2015, and that's when I'd moved up to Seattle, and I was a little more I guess, settled after I moved from Tennessee. So it gave me an opportunity to jump back in, and it was really a kind of a very lucky pull in a very, I guess, hot economy of Andres Galarraga and Omar Vizquel. So long story short, I happened to pick up a box of 2015 Archive Signature Series. I pulled the Andres Galarraga 1 of 1, and I knew him from the 90s in the Braves, and so I figured, hey, I spent $50, I might sell it for $100, and we'll go on with our normal day. But I ended up selling it for $2,000 because I had no idea. I had no idea of the draw that those two players had with their certain collectors at the time. So that of course bubble has now gone away. Those collectors are no longer spending that kind of money. But it was just really a lucky pull at the right time, and ever since then I've kind of been back into the hobby. And then the past after that, a couple of years, I was buying a couple of cases here and there. And then I started figuring out, well, if I run the numbers and if I treat this the right way, I can continue to open more and more and still continue to fund the hobby, keep a couple of cards here and there, but for the most part, just continue to open and have fun with it.
An Andres Galarraga card that went for $2,000. That ain't going to happen anytime soon.
No, that's back when, those guys there was, I think, a couple collectors per player, and they were outbidding each other, and I just threw it up there for $2,000, thinking that maybe I'll sell it. Who knows? And because I'd seen some of the previous listings, and then within an hour, someone hit the buy it now. It went to Florida, and that's it.
Wow, that's amazing. If I hit something like that, that would have jump started me, because I bought a couple of packs here and there. From when I started collecting back in the, the early 90s, and I had just got back into it last year. But I bought like one pack. If I hit something like that, I would have been buying boxes. I would have been right back. Like a degenerate gambler. I would have been right back in you.
Yeah.
So it's funny because what's your team that you like?
So I'm a Mariners partial season ticket holder. So since I live up in Seattle now, I grew up a Braves kid. I think anybody in the 90s with cable was a Braves fan because of TNT or TBS, I think it was at the time. But now, we have been up in Seattle for 7 years, so I'm a diehard Mariners fan. This is a tough year. It might be a tough year next year, but the Mariners are my team.
Well, I know you picked up a pretty good prospect from the Mets,
Yes.
Mr. Kelenic. So
Yes.
I mean, it's not too hard to outsmart the Mets, but you did good on that trade, and I think you guys are you're going to be okay in a couple of years. You seem to be the Mariners, and it seems like the Twins. They go down, and then all of a sudden they build themselves back up relatively quickly, and they're in playoff contention. It seems like every 5 or 6 years. You never go completely away for long spurts.
Yep.
So
I'm hoping in a couple years it'll be a little bit better, but this year is pretty barren. But yeah, getting Kelenic from the Mets was very nice overall.
Yeah, no, he's good to be good. So do you do this full time or part time?
No, this is part time. This is strictly my hobby. I know it might seem kind of crazy that it's part time. I spend a lot of time doing it, but yeah, no, I have a real job and everything. This is strictly side. This is side money, side hobby stuff like that. So
now I seen on your Twitter, your wife. Oh no, on your website, your wife helps you out or no?
Yeah, so she helps me open cases and she will help me sort and stuff like that. So the other day we were opening up a couple cases of Genter, and so she's opening her 6 boxes. I'm opening my 6 boxes, and so yeah, she helps me out. It's fantastic that when we first met for about 5-6 years ago, it was I was teaching her the hobby. I was like, well, here's this player, this is who you want, stuff like that, and now she knows exactly who to get. She knows the cards, she knows the parallels, so it's great.
Yeah, no, that is a huge help. I mean, opening up one box and trying to sort it at 10:30 at night, is a pain. And I can only imagine you guys are opening up, and that's going to go into my other thing. How many cases do you guys buy?
So it really depends on the release. So number one, it's all about the price point. So is the product properly priced based on last year and how I did with the product, as far as selling it goes. So, for example, this year on Allen and Ginter, we have opened 5 cases on Topps Pro Debuts, which is the minor league release. We did 6 cases on Series 1 this year. We did 9 cases. On Series 2, due to the fact that it was during my move, it was only a couple of cases because it was just too hectic to open as I was moving. But then I think the biggest release I've had recently was on 2018 Topps Update Series. We opened up 13 cases. So that was 12 cases of hobby and 1 case of jumbo.
That's insane. How long did that take you to open everything up and sort, or try to sort everything?
So I've tried to do the calculations, and I'm afraid to really ever put the numbers together. But for example, like on Ginter, it'll take us an hour to open a case and then a couple of extra hours to sort. So you figure 3 hours a case to open, sort, and for the most part list. Now the listing part is kind of I can mix it together and save some listing time based on how I do it and everything. But for the most part, it's about on a release like that where there's a lot of base cards, it's probably 2 to 3 hours to get everything open, listed, and sorted for the most part.
Now you sell everything on eBay, correct?
Correct. Yeah, everything through my eBay store, and then if anyone reaches out on Twitter, I will sell through direct message. I try not to anymore do any kind of for sale tweets on Twitter. People know they open up cases and cards and they'll reach out to me on direct message, but I've tried to limit
Twitter. I don't think Twitter's there yet with regards to being a big seller of baseball cards, like Instagram is.
Yeah, and Instagram's one platform that I'm on there, but I have not had much traction on it. So I need to get better at Instagram. But yeah, Facebook or Twitter is where I'm really at for the most part.
Yeah, Twitter is where I see the stacks of cards. Now, when you sort your cards, are you sorting them how you're going to sell them, or are you sorting them just, here's a set, here's another set, here's another set?
So I stopped selling sets this year. I've only done singles and player lots. So when I'm sorting them in tens, but then I'm not putting them in singles. So I'll just leave all like the 590s together I'll leave the 600s together. So if I sell a lot of 10, I'll just grab that stack and pull the 10 out. So that kind of saves some sorting time to where I'm only spending the time getting the cards versus sorting cards that I might not sell for 4 or 5 months.
So you're strictly, I'm sorry, you said players and teams, you said?
So player lots, like 10 count lots, like for Series 2, if you go to my eBay store right now, I'll sell 10 player lot counts. So 10 of the same player.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just do singles. Like you can go onto my store right now for Allen and Ginter, and you can buy either a team set, or if you just want to finish your setup, you could do, a couple singles. They're like buy one, get one free and things like that.
Why did you decide not to sell sets anymore?
The shipping, number one, is, it's about $8 to ship per set. Mm-hmm. Most base sets only sell for $20 to $30. And if a set is $20, it's always with free shipping. They're never 20 plus 10. It's always $20 free shipping or 25. The $8 just eats way into the profit of the actual set itself. So I just decided I will sell a couple of master sets that over $100, but for the most part, I will only sell singles or player lots in a sense.
Got you. Okay, that makes. I've seen a whole gamut of things, and I try to when I try to instill whatever I've learned on eBay. I come from I sell a lot of like used electronics and things like that. So on eBay, I have a good grasp of it. But with regards to baseball cards, I just know, hey, I got a graded baseball card. Let me take a picture of it. I've never opened a case before. So again, like I said, a lot of people have been asking me questions about this. And I go, well, just follow the big sellers. I tell them to follow you. I say, see what they're doing, because, if it's working for them, they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. But like sets are a good way to recoup your cost in the case. So if you're opening, for example, Series 1 or Series 2 or any really base heavy product, and if you don't have a strong customer base, or selling a set is fine. I mean, that's an easy way to recoup 25-30% of your value right there. I just have found that over the course of the past couple of years, that it wasn't making me enough money as just selling singles and then sort of keeping back maybe what I don't sell, but I prefer to just now sell singles or the lots in a sense.
I would think that only the high, like the top rookie cards or the top players, you would sell lots in, and that you wouldn't do that for just a regular common guy. But if that's working for you.
Yeah. So for example, like on Series 2, if I'm selling 10 Alonso rookie cards for $70, but then only 10 sets go for $120, I can sell the Alonsos, I can sell the Eloys, and I can sell the Tatisas for more, and then sell an occasional lot here on the side of other players. But it just makes more sense to sell those as a rookie lot versus selling 10 sets individually.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, right? You just look at that's my whole thing. Is everything I base every decision on the number, and as you see on the website, the odd breakdowns and stuff like that. To me, it's zero emotion. It's all about the number.
Yeah. My perception would be, all right, well, I got, let me try to sell as many cases sets as possible. And if I get any big hits, I'll sell those, and hopefully I get my money back. But the way you're breaking it out, it makes total sense. Now, how many cases do you feel is like a break-even point? Would you just say, hey, you can break even on one if you're lucky, or do you need to start buying some more cases?
I mean, you can. It all depends on the price point. So if, for example, right now on 2019 update series, which you can pre-order right now for the retailers, I think it's like $1,300 or something like that. It's outrageous. Mm-hmm. No matter how many you buy at that price, you're never going to make any money. That product is not a $1,300 product. Last year I bought it on release day at $600 a case, and that's after Acuna came up. That's after Soto came up. Mm-hmm. They're now pre-selling that case for double basically. And we don't even have a checklist, and we don't even know how the second half of the season went. So it all depends on the price point. You can buy one and make money at the right price, but you can also buy one at the wrong price and just get killed in it because it's just you're paying too much per card.
Guy. Now, where do you typically buy? What's the guy's name and address? Do you guys typically buy it from like Tops? Do you buy it direct, or do you buy it through eBay through pre-sales? How do you typically go about that?
Yeah. So I typically will buy most of my cases through my local card shop, so DJ Sportscards here in Seattle, and then I will also buy from Steel City Collectibles. I bought majority of my cases from there, and I've also for many years I've used Blowout, but recently I've used Steel City Collectibles now, and then my local card shop here. So from a global perspective, I think Steel City would be the easiest one to access in a sense.
Now, is it because you buy so many cases, are you getting a better deal, or it's just, hey, it is what it is, I'm just buying it online?
No, I do have a reseller's permit. I do have a business in the state of Washington, so I am able to get a little better pricing. I'm not buying it at cost by any means. I can't buy direct through Tops, so there is a middleman for me. But I'm not paying retail, but I'm also not paying 2% over cost. I'm in the middle right there.
Okay, I mean, to get numbers out of people is like for some reason, it's a very hidden thing to the vest. And I think that's because everyone has their own, I guess they buy it at different prices. And if they tell somebody I buy it at a better price than someone else, they might, anger the baseball gods.
Yeah, that, and at the same time, obviously, the more you buy from a distributor, the better pricing you're going to get, sales history, stuff like that. So, I've only been licensed with the state this year. So for the past couple of years, I was buying retail for the most part, but it's only here recently I've been able to access a little better pricing than I have been in the past couple of years.
Okay, now what is your favorite case to open?
If I had to open just one case all the time, I'm a massive fan of Allen and Ginter X, which is a Topps.com exclusive, and it comes out about a month after regular Ginter.
Okay, I've never even heard of Allen and Ginter X, and
so
because I haven't gotten to. I started in September, October, so I think the first one that came out for me was Bauman Tech.
Okay.
And so, like, I know all those, and now I know all the new ones, and I'm like, I'm trying to look ahead and trying to look at the stuff, but I didn't, live through it, so it doesn't stay in my mind. Allen and Ginter X. Do they look? I'm assuming they look very similar to the.
They're very well. They're the same design, but they're completely black. There's a black. The back of it's black.
Okay.
And you for the most part, it is one auto a box. There are the red minis and the silver minis. So if you saw my picture today on Twitter about my national project to find more red and silver minis, those are exclusive to Ginter X. And it comes last year. It came out August 8th, and it's usually about $70 a box online. It's rather inexpensive, but the return you can make on it is insane almost, because all of the autos, like last year, all the autos were out of 25 or less, and then you have the red minis and out of 5, and you have the silver minis out of 1. Most cases last year were delivering 6 to 8 red minis and 2 to 3 silver minis, because the checklist is the same, but all of the parallels are, they're low numbered, so the cases have a fantastic return on them.
Wow. Yeah, no, all right. Yeah. See, I am Allen and Ginter. I am not a fan of. I think it's like 50% love Allen and Ginter and 50% hate all the, I got an egg, like stuff like that. I get annoyed right away, but I like the baseball cards. Like those look really nice, but it seems like whenever I see a box, I just bought a blaster box. I didn't buy a hobby box this time, and it just was just like, that's basically what it comes out to.
Yeah, Ginter's a product to where I think for me it breaks up the monotony of the year. So I only do baseball, right? I don't do football or basketball, And so every product is usually the same players, just a different design. This is the one product a year to where, I mean, I pulled a dinosaur relic in one of the cases last week. I mean, what other product can you do that in? So it's stuff like that to where it kind of breaks up the monotony of baseball players all the time.
I guess so. If I was on your end and I'm opening up 5 cases and I see the same poses, because Topps doesn't like to change the poses.
Yeah.
Or they like to steal from Bauman too, I've noticed. I don't know. But I can understand that. I get it. And I get why people would like Allen and Ginter. It's just, I guess for me, my favorite from what I just started opening up was 2019 Topps Stadium Club.
Yep, that's a great series for the photos. They're amazing.
I never seen anything like that. I always liked it as a kid, Topps Stadium, but I mean, it was like when and it's funny, someone posted on Twitter. Remember the flare cards?
Yes.
When I first saw those flare cards, I went, this is the greatest thing. Dare I say, sliced bread. It was amazing. Like, I just thought when I saw those, and that's exact same thing when I saw Topps Stadium Club this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I wanted to buy a case of that. That was one thing I did want to buy a case for.
Yeah, it's interesting when you go back to Ginter real quick. Ginter is a product to where I recommend it. I say I recommend, it's tough. Not everyone can buy a case, but Ginter is a product where you would ideally like to buy it in case format, because you can spend $100 and get 3 base relics, and it's utterly frustrating. But the case results are typically better. You'll end up with like about 4 to 6 autos a case, things like that. But you really have to buy it in the case format to really get any kind of results out of it, because $100 or $110 for 3 base relics that sell for like $5 to $6 is, it's infuriating.
Yeah, I tend to notice that when I tell people this because it just makes sense. If you buy the case, you're going to spread your risk, and you're going to be able. To me, it seems like you'll be able to get your money back if you really hustle on a case. Pretty much, unless you get a horrible case. I mean, like, it just seems like to me you can get your money back. It's just can you make a profit on it or not?
Yeah, if you get everything listed, if you really dedicate yourself to listing every parallel, every insert, every base card, and you do it within a certain amount of time, within maybe the first week of release, you are going to see a better return on that money. Now, if you open a product that is 2 years old, that's a risk, because the demand is not going to be there. You're really looking to hit a big card to really pay for that case. But if you're buying a new product and you get everything listed and you put in the time, there's no results are guaranteed, but the odds are better off in your favor that you'll see a better return than if you wait a month or if you list everything over many weeks.
Now, when I went to your website and I read your article, I saw something that I picked up right away, and to be honest with you, I didn't see anyone else talking about it. Now, since I'm in the industry and reading more stuff, I've been seeing this more often. But you were one of the first guys I saw it going, you need to list this crap right away. If you don't list it, if you wait a month, it's too late. You could have made so much more money. So where do you think, after what time period are you going to start losing value? Have you noticed?
A month is really the point where it's like, okay, if it hasn't sold within a month, am I priced too high? Where are the other people listing at? What's going on? So I think to me, the month is the big sort of the break even, the breaking point for value, because the first couple of days you're going to have high sales. People want the new product, and it's going to sell. Then you've got the next couple of days, next week or so, people are undercutting each other. They've got to pay that credit card bill or something, so they're gonna undercut, and it's gonna sort of short the market for a little bit. Then once those sellers go away, then the prices will typically come back up for the most part. But then from there, it's about making sure you can get that card sold. So then after a month, you've really got to address, hey, where am I at pricing wise, and what's my leftover inventory? Should I drop my cards? I talk a lot about running sales, 25% off, 15% off. the goal is to obviously sell the card, not have it listed. So to me, it's about a month.
Now, you would suggest if people starting getting into this to not just have eBay, just, you get 100 free listings and you call it a day, that someone should get a store.
Not necessarily. I don't think if you, I didn't have a store for about a year or so, but I think to maximize your listings and to minimize your cost, which is not having to pay the listing fee, a store is in your advantage. But it all depends on how much you're opening and what your listings are going to be.
Okay. Now, I saw also you spoke about pre-sales.
Mm-hmm.
How do you figure out what you're going to have? How do you maximize the pre-selling? Sorry, me English no bueno. How do you figure that out?
So it's history of the product. So now I have tried to do better at pre-selling this year. I have not done as well as I would like, but I've met more collectors through Twitter now who will tell me before the release comes out, hey, I would like all of this team or that team, and then once I open everything, and then I'll get them a price. But I have not been able to sort of pick up or pick up a steady pre-sale business to where I can say, hey, this team is $10 or this team is $5. I say, hey, who do you want? I'll reach out to you after I get done with the break.
Got you. You also do breaks, or it's just breaks as in I'm opening up the cards?
I'm opening the cards. I don't host any group breaks or anything like that. Everything I'm opening is mine, and then typically I will ideally sell everything. But yeah, everything I open is mine, but no group breaking here.
Got you. Yeah, because I would pre-sales to me, if you're able to go, hey, I know I'm gonna have 20. I think the big guy in Topps Update is going to be the guy from the Astros. Why am I blanking? How can I blank out on this guy?
Yadier.
Yadier.
Yep.
So I'm assuming his cards are going to go for a ton of money.
Yep.
And like how to figure out how to pre-sale that and rate that. That's why I was asking that question, because I would think that maybe you might want to do. Now, do you do auctions on guys like that? Would you go, hey, let me try to get an auction, a couple, 2 or 3 day auction to see if I can get, more money out of this? Or do you buy it now?
I'm typically buy it now, best offer. I have experimented here recently with more auctions. I ran 6 or 7, maybe 8 one-day auctions for Ginter. So some red autos, some triple rips, things like that. Stuff that hadn't been listed yet. But for the most part, I am best offer, buy it now.
How the auctions didn't go well, or they did okay?
They did okay. I think, for like an Altuve triple rip that went for $220. I had a Gwynn triple rip that went for $180. So I think for the most part, all of the cards ended right where I figured they were. I'm not a big fan of just sort of throwing it out there and seeing what happens. Now a week after release, I'm not going to run any one-day auctions. I'll do that within a couple days of release, but for the most part now, I want it to go up, and I want everybody to be able to see it and make an offer on the card in a sense.
I'm with you on it. I'm not a big auction fan, because for the most part, when I see auctions, you're trying to get it for cheaper. I see the cheaper prices are going for auction.
Yeah.
Now,
and it's tough for me out here. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
The time thing is also weird for me. I've never been able to figure out the timing. So for me, ending an auction at 9:00 my time is perfect, but that's midnight back in the East. But then ending an auction at 7:00 your time is 4:00 here. So I'm like, I can't figure out the exact right time for an auction. So I just sort of figure out, I'll just do best offer, buy it now, and let it go from there.
They used to go, you want to do it like on Sunday night is what I would hear.
Yep.
Because that's when everybody's home. Everyone's looking at their phone, relaxing, and they want to, buy stuff, I guess. And it made sense, but I can't imagine Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you. I really don't like auctions.
Yeah.
I've never had good experiences with it. I never got more money ever.
Yeah.
It seems like it's something that you want to get rid of cards. I'm going to do an auction and hopefully I can get rid of it and get some money back.
Yeah. So I prefer to have a little more control over the situation. So, I'll put it up there and, I can always reduce the price if it's not selling, but I prefer to keep as much control as possible for the most part on what I'm selling.
Control is good.
Yes.
So, who do you follow? Who did you learn this from? Or is it just, hey, I just started buying cases and I figured this stuff out?
No, I think number one, I think my personality is I'm a grinder in a sense, like, from playing golf through college to, learning poker online back when we could play online. I've always been just real big into numbers and grinding and figuring things out. But I think a big person to follow if you're looking to do this is Brent and Becca on Twitter. They're on eBay. I know he's on vacation right now, but for the most part, he'll do 25, 30, 50, 60 cases. And he's been doing it for 20, 30 years now. So if there's anybody that's really been an inspiration, either directly or indirectly, it's been him and his process of how he turns around, 30 to 90 cases and then turns a profit in his process and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He's got to, well, I'm assuming he does this full time and
it's his full-time job. But I think he's one of the only ones who does it at that quantity as a one-man show. I mean, so he does everything. It's increasing. He's a great resource for me. We'll talk here and there, but yeah, his process is tried and true over many years. But
yeah,
really, go ahead.
No, I know of him, and I think it's because of About the Cards podcast. I think they mentioned him, and so then I went over and saw, and I went, "Holy crap! Look at this guy."
Yeah, yeah, it's quite incredible. But a lot of it too is just it's trial and error. You're going to open stuff up. I still make mistakes to this day, so you're gonna counter wrong. You're going to list something wrong. It happens. So you just got to learn from the mistakes and go with it. And over time, you'll just make less mistakes.
What I'm not going to be specific with numbers, but profit margin wise, are you 20, 30%? Are you doing less? Are you doing more? I know it all depends, but I'm just talking about on average.
Yeah, my target expectation on any case is 25% back. So that's my target. If I don't reach that, I got to figure out why. Did I buy it at the wrong price? Did I list everything too high? Whatever that is. But my initial goal is 25% back on whatever I spend.
That makes sense. I think that's average. I think that's exactly what you should be. It's hard because I come from a thrifting background. Okay. So I'll sometimes buy things for 10 and sell it for 200.
Yeah.
But that's like once in a blue, that's not something that happens every day. So you have a lot of the smaller thrifting that, where you only make a couple, you make hardly anything and everything just evens out at the end. And I go, it's 25%. It's damn good. I think that's really good for cards. It's tough. You watch YouTube videos on guys thrifting and say, I made this much, that much. It's just not realistic. And that's sort of why I asked the question, because I think that's a way more realistic return. That's what I would, hope to get.
Yeah, and I always say, I've always said in my articles online, on the website and everything, is there are times I will lose money. There are times I have stopped buying products because I just can't sell it. Like it just doesn't sell enough, or it's just not a good resale product overall. So, there are times where I do lose money. I try to minimize that now, and I try to maximize releases that I know I can sell better. So, the idea is, yes, some breaks I might come back at 45%. Others I might come back at 10%. Some I might even break even. So, it's the overall goal is to be at the end of the year to make 25% back of or 25% more than what I eventually put in.
Got you. That sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Where I one of the things I want to ask is, where do you think baseball cards are going? Like, what do you think, like, the future is for baseball cards?
I mean, the more eyes that are on baseball, the hobby, some people dislike the Gary Vee effect. I think it's completely positive for the hobby because he's bringing new people in. And I think the more the game shifts to the young players, the up and coming rookies, I think that's going to be a positive for the hobby. If the hobby shifts to veterans, older players, the draw is not going to be there. But if everything continues to move to the next guy up, the next 18-year-old, the next 19-year-old, Wander Franco is the next guy up, and he's already been on ESPN 4 months ago or whatever it is. So I think if that continues, I can't see it being anything but positive for the hobby in itself.
Couldn't agree more. I'm a big Gary Vee fan, so and when I started to do this podcast, when I didn't, I'm off and on with him. I don't watch him all the time. I go in bunches. I'll watch a bunch of his videos, and then maybe I won't see him for a month or two.
Yep.
And when he started talking about, basketball cards and baseball cards, I knew, I was like, I'm on the right track if this guy's talking about it, because he doesn't seem to make too many mistakes.
No. It's just, I think the more mainstream people talk about it, the better off everybody is. Now, who knows how football is going to go and basketball is going to go, but baseball is the sport that's around for 6 to 8 months a year. There's very little downtime. And even when there's downtime in baseball, there's the fall league, there's the prospecting, there's Bowman draft coming out. So, there's a lot of things happening even in the wintertime for baseball to where it's really a year-round hobby. Not where football, it's 5 months of the year, 4 months of the year. But for baseball,
that's what it seems. I'm trying to branch out. I'm strictly baseball. I'm mostly baseball cards. And when I was growing up, I loved basketball. I'm collecting basketball cards, Shaquille O'Neal and all that, and football cards as well. But I don't. It's another thing I got to learn. So it's like, but it seems like everything. I'm like, well, I see they're having sets, but they're from last year's players. When are the new players coming in? They're like, that's not for a couple more months. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I would love to learn basketball, open up. They do base heavy products. They do Prism and things like that, but people only want, the refractors. They don't really want player lots of the base card, and that's really where the money is in baseball. So if that ever happens in basketball, that could be a very easy spot to make some money, because no one, I don't think, is opening basketball other than group breakers in mass quantity. But I just don't think the market's there for people collecting 25 or 15 base rookies of any player outside of just the big guys. And then again, too, at basketball, you've only got 12 guys per team. In baseball, you've got 100 per organization, if not more. So you've got more opportunity in baseball versus basketball.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot more higher end cards that, like you'll see a Kobe Bryant to 75 auto that goes for thousands of dollars. It's not even his rookie card, and you're like, but it's a 75. I mean, I'm saying Kobe Bryant. Maybe I shouldn't be saying Kobe Bryant because he's one of the best players, but it's just they're really, I think they're more expensive than some baseball cards, but it's just because there's so many more baseball, card players. There's more cards out there that go for 1,000, 2,000. The fact that Wander Franco is he's not in Double A. I think he's in Single A Advanced, right? Or is he? Did he just got moved up to Double A?
He's low. He's really down there. He's nowhere close to the majors.
No, and that's what I'm saying. And his cards are going for ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, you can put a nice player collection together of a player in baseball, and they can never make the major leagues. It's great. So I mean, there's money to be made on the prospect sets, and then obviously if they make it to the major leagues, there's more money to be made when they have their rookie cards and things like that.
Yeah. Now, do you get any cards graded?
Not typically. If you search my store right now, I've got one card graded, and that's a Juan Soto Topps Chrome update that I pulled, late last year. I graded a couple cards, but typically speaking, I don't like to wait. I don't want to hold the card for too long. So I'm all about listing it and getting it out. I will let the buyer hold it or grade it, whatever they want. But for the most part, I just try to get out from underneath the card and get it out and go from there. But secondarily, I also don't want to be seen as a person who has 150 graded cards and then others that are not graded. So the question becomes, is this card picked through, or why is this card not graded, but why is that card graded? So to me, it's not an ethical thing, but it's more of like, what's the perception? And for me, if you go to my store, I have one graded card available, and that's it. So it's very obvious that I don't grade, and I don't. All of my stuff is just from the cases. It's not picked through, and there's potential you could get a 10 on these cards. I have no idea, but it's just sort of, it's the perception of me not picking through in my inventory.
I never thought of it like that, looking at an eBay store. Like when I go to Facebook groups that sell cards, and you go through the fire sales, I'm assuming more often than not, those cards are not getting PSA 10s.
Yeah.
And when I first started, was going, oh man, I'm going to buy all these cards. They don't know what they're doing. And I'm going to grade them all. And I'm going to make all this money. And, I started doing the Conor McGregor dance, and that wasn't the case. Now, it wasn't as bad as what I, thinking back, it's not that bad, but 50% got 10s, everything else got 9s, 8s, or I didn't even send in to get graded. So,
like for example, I'm still sitting on from last year. I think I have about 30 to 35 base sets of Topps Update series. I've got about 10 or 12 master sets available. So there's like 35 Soto rookie cards in there. And I could get all of them graded and see how it goes, but I'd prefer to maybe eventually, I'm hoping the sets will rise. I'm actually holding that product a little bit, but if the rookie cards end up going for $20, $30 or $40, I'll just break those cards out and sell them. But I don't want to be in the position where I'm selling 10 graded, 10 not graded, and someone goes, well, what's up with these non-graded cards?
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. No, I get it. It makes perfect sense. It's definitely something to think about. Yeah. If you're going to start breaking cases and sell them on eBay, and then all of a sudden you got 10 graded cards. I mean, I see it. It's definitely. I would never have looked for that though. When I look in a store, I wouldn't go, oh, why is this guy selling this? I think you give people too much credit.
I know, it's just
because I'm not looking through the whole store to see, oh, this guy, what a.
I think number one, I'm only into sports cards because I'm a collector. So I look at everything from a buyer's perspective. So why would a buyer want to buy for me? If I'm a buyer, how do I want to receive this card? And so I look at things. I try to look at everything from the buyer's mindset versus my mindset as a seller.
Oh no! Again, I never thought about it, but now that you're saying it, it makes complete sense to me. It does.
Yeah.
All right. Now I gotta go through. There's a couple of questions that I got from the group, but I think we may have already touched on it. The same thing that we spoke about. They were talking about the paper. What is it best to sell, the paper in base full sets, or better to sell larger groupings of the same player, base card, or certain players? And you spoke about that. We know where you're at.
Yeah, I'll give you a little tip here on those. So if you can buy up Bowman draft player, like, so breakers and case breakers typically don't want to sort paper base. It's just a nuisance. But if you can buy case lots of that and then sort it yourself and then list it in 10 player lots, you can make a lot of money on that.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, that's the most I ever bought of a product was 2018 Bauman draft. I bought 5 boxes. I never had that many boxes. The most I think I ever had was like maybe 5 or 6 packs I bought when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So opening those up, trying to sort them out. I sold all my autos. I actually did pretty well. but I never thought to do that.
Yeah, you can go on eBay and you can look at, people will sell, case lots of paper. And so just for 2018 draft, I bought up 7 cases of paper, of just paper base cards. I've been selling them for now, 7 months in my store, and I have doubled my money on all of that after fees, after shipping, and things like that. So it was a little bit of sorting. I say a little bit. It was 7 cases of paper, right? But after that, I listed it, and they still sell to this day. Every single day, for the most part, I'll almost get a sale for a lot of 10 or someone buying 40 cards, whatever that is. So if you can get that, there's money to be made on paper lots of Bowman or really any prospect product that's licensed.
I would never have thought the paper. I always thought chrome,
Mm-hmm.
and the refractors. Paper is garbage. I just made a set of it. Like I had 5 paper sets. So instead, I should have probably put in 5 lots, player lots.
Yeah, I recommend that. I think if you put the time in on player lots, you can make your money as long as you're appropriately priced and things like that.
That's all right. Yeah, and the other question, same thing. You think, what's the smallest quantity of wax you can buy to break even on a flip? That's everything. You can break even on one box.
It's all price point. It's all about where you're buying at. I mean, if you're buying it for too much, there's a reason why this year I didn't buy Gypsy Queen baseball. I just found over the years it just doesn't sell. There's no resale value in it. It sells for a little bit, but the hard to find stuff just doesn't really sell. So this year I skipped that release because my history of that product is in the red, and I'm done trying to make it sell. I will just buy more into Genscher, for example, their Series 1 or whatever that could be.
Yeah, I saw Gypsy Queen. To be honest with you, I would get Gypsy Queen and Allen and Ginter confused when I started getting back into it. They both looked the same to me. I said, they're just old-looking cards. I don't know what's up with them. I was like an old man with it. I was just like the kids with these cards. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, it just, yeah. But I actually, it looks nice, the Gypsy Queen. They look bad, but, yeah, I don't, looking through the Facebook groups, and I don't see too many people buying and selling them. Even the autos. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
They look great, but they don't sell. It's just really funny.
They look okay. I still think Allen Ginter baseball looks better, and I like the Allen Ginter, the black border. Like when those cards look. I really like those cards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more annoyed at myself that I didn't buy more Topps Update, because I remember, and I think I might have read it on yours. They were on clearance. I remember seeing them on clearance, and I said, you know what? I don't. I'm not going to get them. And it's stupid. I mean, I'd be making a fortune.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on 2. I bought 4. I think I bought 4 cases when they were $500 a piece. I opened 2 of them, but I'm still sitting on 2 cases of Hobby that I paid $500 for. That I think they're easily over, I think, $1,200 right now. I haven't checked recently. I could be off on that, but I know they were more recently. But yeah, that's the only product I've ever held, just because of who's in it. And it seems to be paying off right now. We'll see what happens in the next 6 months or a year. But those are the 2 cases I have in my closet that just sit there, and we will see what happens.
That was one that you had the last question I had from the group was, do you keep a certain percentage of cases boxes? Because that was the other thing. A lot of people said, you know what? I'm just going to buy cases and I'm just going to hold them and wait, and then sell the boxes in a couple of years. Like, just say you kept on doing that, and you have a case of 2016 Bauman draft, Bauman draft. Which one's Glad? No, he's Bauman, right?
I think I think that's the right one. Yeah.
And it's Pete Alonso, but whichever one that was, I believe it's Bauman. You would be sitting on a gold mine. I don't know if that would work year after year if you just held and wait, a couple of years. But so you already answered that question. You only did it for 2018. You pretty much just sell everything.
Yeah, and look, I for like Bowman, the Bowman Mega, that's the Target exclusive. So in 2017, those boxes exploded because Ohtani's sort of unlicensed card was in them. But then 2018 came around. I bought up a bunch at $30 a box, and I sold them a year later for $30 a box. Nothing, they didn't really move past $30. So you have to weigh the risk and reward of, do I want to tie up all this capital into sealed wax when I could take this $1,000 and do something else with it? So it's a gamble, but it's easy to look at those cases that went up in value and say, well, I'm just going to do that. But don't forget all of the other cases that have gone down in value, that if you bought those cases, you're now losing money by sitting on them. So you've just got to be judicious in what you do with holding sealed wax. I'm not an expert in it. I'm not a proponent of it. I just did it with update series because they were $500, and I thought, you know what, for $1,000 with Soto, Acuna, Ohtani in it, I will see what happens.
Yeah, no, I to be honest, I liked the card. It looked nice, and I bought blasters. I bought a jumbo box. I just went as nuts as I possibly could go. At the time, because I was just getting into it. My wife was sighing, going, "What are you doing? You're playing with baseball cards? What are you, 5? You look ridiculous." And I can't, I can't argue with it. I did look a little ridiculous, but I forgot to ask you, jumbo, hobby, or blaster cases. How do you determine which ones to get, or do you just get hobby, box cases? Like, how do you figure that out? Same thing. You just look at price.
No. So when you look at flagship series, so this is series 1, series 2, and update, I prefer hobby over jumbo. Now that's
really, I thought you were saying the opposite.
No, because in hobby, you have the exclusive clear parallels out of 10. So usually 100 of the players will have the clear parallel, and also in the like the 84 auto, there is an exclusive red parallel in hobby. So that's out of 25. I prefer those two parallels over anything else. And in flagship, you're not opening that for the autographs. The autographs, for the most part, are your run of the mill, just base rookie autographs. I prefer hobby over jumbo because of the clear and the red autos.
And that's a base heavy insert, type of set that you're selling.
Correct.
Whereas maybe Bauman, you're gonna go for the jumbo case, I would assume.
Bowman, that's a product I try to stay away from these days because it's so overpriced. And I try to buy up lots on the back end of stuff like that to resell. I don't typically open those cases just because the buy-in price now is just astronomical, because they got rid of hobby. Now it's only jumbo and super jumbo. And it almost feels like it's a breaker's product now at the price point versus someone opening 10 cases and selling it, for what it is.
We had somebody in my group that just got back into the hobby, and as soon as I started talking, he's going to get all pumped up. And this guy has been on a mission, because I said, you got to get Bowman. You got to, that's the cards, that you want to invest in. And he just bought a ton of 2019 paper, chrome, just bulk lots, thousands of them. That's what he was doing. So listening to you, I think he's definitely going to be listening to this podcast. He's going to be pumped that he actually did something right. Because I kept on saying, I was like, hey, take it easy. You're going to go broke. But I think he might have been on the right spot, and I was definitely wrong listening to you, because they seemed expensive, but I don't know the previous years. Like, I don't know, from 2016, 17, the price point to now, how much that has jumped. So,
just for reference here, in 2017, I opened just 2 cases of Bowman Jumbo, and they were $1,000 a piece at release.
Wow.
I saw the pre-order price of 2018. It came out at $1,500. And I'm like, what's changed to deliver this 50% increase? Now, I get it. Everybody's here to make money. I don't blame anybody for that. But I think what justifies a 50% increase? So, back to the original question of, how many cases do you need to buy to break even? You could buy one case there at $1,500, and you're just going to lose because last year was $1,000, and it's the same product. Now,
are they going for more money though?
Well, maybe
the
now,
single and the bases and everything like that.
No, the people are not spending more money on the cards because the case costs more money. The case costs more money because there's a couple of prospects that are driving, that market. But for the most part, your base paper, your base chrome is still going to be the same price.
So it doesn't make so. Looking forward, 2019, Bauman Chrome, you're not buying any cases, or maybe you'll just buy one.
I haven't bought Chrome in many years. What I'll typically do with Bowman is I'll buy blaster cases with that, because all I want is the paper and the Chrome, and I'm not buying the increase in price. So I can get a blaster case for like $300. So 16 blasters, and I get all of the stuff I want. I can also pull the exclusive green parallels, which are only in retail. Those do have a little bit of a premium on them because they're only in retail and they're only $2.99. But it gives me more of the base and the paper. Like I opened up this year 6 cases of blasters before and I haven't even opened up a hobby case of Bowman. I only have done the blaster cases.
And do you typically how many autographs are you typically getting on a blaster case?
Not many, 2 to 3, maybe 4. If you're lucky, 4, but for the most part, 2 to 3.
Okay, but
not much. But
you're spending significantly less. I mean, if you buy a couple of blaster cases and you hit 2 autos that go for $100, you're going to be fine. Selling everything else, obviously.
Correct. And I think it's all about blaster cases are a great way to still enjoy the product at a reduced price point, and you're not paying the inflated prices, but you're still getting basically the same cards for the retail price, because they're $20 at Target, they're $20 at Walmart, and they're not raising the prices, right? Or they're $20 at Blowout, a blaster box, whatever that is. So there's really no increase in blaster prices; they're the same.
So what do you think about Bauman Draft then?
They don't do retail anymore, so it's only. Oh.
I'm saying, I know you're not buying Bauman Chrome. Same thing. You draft, same thing. You're just saying go scratch.
I will just buy the player lots. I've tried to get out of Bowman when it comes to the cases, just because the prices. I'll just do the back end stuff. I will buy the stuff that people don't want to sort, and I'll sell it that way.
Yeah, it's a barrier point. People don't want to sort. People don't want to do things. You'll be able to buy stuff cheaper. You'll do the work, and you'll make the money off of it. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to then? What cases are you really going to be going after going forward?
So it's now about to be August. So I don't do Chrome, which is Topps Chrome. The next big release for me, which I'm a huge fan of, is Topps Heritage Minors. So that's Topps' secondary release of the year with the players in their minor league uniforms. It's in the Heritage format, on card autos, that thick card stock. So I'll probably do 9 to 10 cases of that. I think we did 8 last year, 8 or 9. So that's a big release I look forward to in September.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I saw those cards. I just like the. Well, are they similar? Are they the same design as the Heritage Update that's coming out? Are they? 1970.
Yeah, they'll be the exact same design.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought to. I saw the minor leagues. I saw them. I didn't think people bought them. To be honest with you, I know everyone buys everything, but it didn't seem like that was a popular thing. I thought everyone would be going after the Heritage Update, and is the price? I'm sure they have pre-sale prices for that. Was that the one that you said that was really high?
No, the one that's really high right now is just Topps Update Series. Yeah, that's the one for October, which is crazy priced.
I really like the Heritage Series. That was another one that I really enjoyed. So, so the Heritage Update, I was actually looking forward to this year.
Yep.
And I like the fact that you can look at the back of the, you look through your cards and you go, all right, and I think I did okay, and you sort them through. But then you look behind and you have to look at the codes and you go, oh wait, no, this is actually even cooler. I can't figure it out right away just by flipping through. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, no, it's Heritage is always a surprise. You never know what you get. I love the product overall, and that's why I like Miners so much, because it's a lower price point. It's usually 2 autos a box, 2 relic kits, and it's of the players who are up and coming. And occasionally they'll have veteran autos in it. They're very rare, but they're in there, and it's a lower price point in the same time of year.
And you're doing the same thing, selling player lots and things like that, and people buying them because they're trying to prospect.
Yep. So I've like last year, all I did last year was sell singles, and I have them right now in my store. I think it's buy 1 get 5 free, so it's like 18 or 15 cents a card, and people will buy them all the time.
Cool. That must take a long time to do the eBay listing for that.
That's my only pet peeve of eBay is when you do a variation listing. So it's a listings where you have the drop down box.
Mm-hmm.
You can't you just can't copy and paste an entire list and have it auto populate. You have to copy and paste every single one. So those listings are a great driver of sales, but they are a pain to set up because it's just Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. It's so boring.
300 guys, right?
Yeah. It's something that I have no grasp of eBay at all with anything they do, except for that they have to improve that process, because if sellers can list faster and list more, they're going to sell more and they're going to make more money. So just let us copy and paste an entire list, but we can't have everything we want, but I would love to have that on the variation.
Yeah,
listings.
People, when people complain about the fees for eBay, I go, good luck trying to do that on your own. I have no problems paying the fee.
Yeah.
But that variation, when I see the variation, it gives me agita just thinking about it. I don't know, but if it works, and it seems like, I'll see. I think I saw on yours. I see on other people 300-400 sold. It definitely works.
Yeah, it does work. It's just a pain to get listed, but the end result is always good. But I just really wish you could do copy and paste an entire list, but whatever.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
All right, Chris, do you have anything you want to promote? Is there anything that you want to push?
No,
website?
Not right now.
No?
If you guys are on Twitter, CRT_Sportscards, I'm ask me any questions. I'm always here to help. I put out a monthly sales tracking file that I put out in the first of the month. If you'd like that, just send me a DM. I'll email it to you. I do at times. I'll do individual sales sheets based on a product release, so you can see kind of what's selling in your release, what your top 5 cards are, stuff like that. So if you have ever any questions, reach out to me there, and I will do my best to answer it.
Awesome. And you're going to be at Nationals, right?
Yes.
In 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks?
Actually next Wednesday. So I fly out to Chicago on Tuesday, and then I'll be the National from Wednesday through. I fly back to Seattle Saturday night, so I'll be there mainly all through Saturday.
So you don't have a booth. You're going in there just to have fun.
This is my first National ever. So this is something I'm gonna, I guess, walk in and just be amazed and kind of take in the sights and meet everyone who I've met on Twitter over the year and go from there. So I'm looking forward to just experiencing it for the first time and seeing what it's all about.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, that's my goal next year to go.
Yeah.
I believe it's in Atlantic City.
Yep, it is. Yep.
So I'm in New York, so that's where I'll bring the ruckus there. So
yeah.
All right, man. You have fun, and that's it for the podcast, guys. Thank you very much for listening. And my tagline, of course, is to buy some cars and go broke, people. Later.